This is one of the most common questions that I get, and I've not really talked about this for the longest time. And the reason why is because I always thought the answer was so simple. And the more guys I talk to, the more I realize that the fundamental understanding of how messaging works has somehow been lost on this generation. So I'm here to disabuse you of these 7 mistakes that men make in general when messaging women. The first mistake, and this is going to cover most of you, is that you show too much intent. On the first message to a woman, you're already letting her know that you're sexually interested. This is a massive mistake. You have no value, therefore you can give no value. You're messaging a woman and giving her your intent, which means your intent is worthless. You are letting her know off the rip that she is more attractive than any woman you could possibly ever be with. This is a massive mistake. The obvious trope of this is the Indian guy messaging the girl saying, I want to see Bob's in vagine. That whole funny thing where they're just constantly harassing these women. And I know some guys, you're not even doing that. But if you're just asking girls a ton of questions, you are showing too much intent. If your messages are longer than her messages when she responds, you're showing too much intent. This conversation cannot seem like it's more important to you than it is to her. If it seems that way, then she knows that in her mind or in your mind, you know that her SMV is higher than hers. That is not how this works. In order for a woman, her hypergamy to be satisfied, she has to feel like your SMV is higher than hers. And in order for that to happen, you cannot show intent off the rip unless you have 4 million followers, you've won an Academy Award, you're a male fitness model, you're a huge streamer, you're a multi-billionaire. If you're one of those guys, yes, you can absolutely show intent with your first message. But for the rest of you, when you show intent, it doesn't work because you have no value. Just imagine somebody coming up to you and asking you to just give them money. It almost comes off like begging, because the person who's begging from you, they don't have any value to give you. They're just begging. You don't have any value, and you're showing a woman intent who's done nothing to earn it. So it's a very, very massive mistake, and I would say most of you fall in this category. There's a lot of you right now who are like, Michael, I don't show intent. And I could look at your messages, and I could see, yo, do you see how you respond to her immediately after she responds? Do you see how your messages are longer than hers? Do you see how you seem to be a little bit more frantic? You're trying harder to get her to meet up with you. You're showing her that this conversation is more important to you than it is to her, thereby telegraphing that you have lower status. The second mistake is you try to get women to go on dates with you. Again, if you know a girl, you've hung out with her several times, you've been in a group setting, one of her friends has introduced you, and you try to get her to go on a date with you, that's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you first meet a girl one time, she's showing absolutely no compliance. She tolerated you by giving you her Instagram account, and you messaged her. And on the first message, you're like, hey, I'd like to take you out for dinner sometime. Again, we've talked about this before, the Lucy Hunt study, where it goes over the concept of how long men and women knew each other before they dated, and then they contrast the level of physical attractiveness of the two partners. And what they found is the best way for you to meet a girl off the rip and date a very attractive girl is for you to be a very attractive guy. But after 4.5 months, that correlation was cut in half. And at 9 months, that correlation was not significantly different from 0. Meaning, when you take a woman from an unfamiliar environment, which would be like a bar or a nightclub or even a dating app, a place where Chad and Tyrone are always going to dominate you, you take her from that place to a familiar environment, you have the ability to be way more attractive to her. In order to do that, the best way is to get her into a group setting. A group setting does not include a one-on-one date. The best way to get a woman who isn't physically attracted to you to become attracted to you is to get her in a group setting where she can see your relevancy, competency, access to scarce resources, locations, networks, charisma, humor, pre-selection, and social proof. You can only do that in a familiar environment. So what I would recommend you do instead of trying to get her on a one-on-one date is say, hey, do you want to come to this charity event with me? Hey, we're all going to go to the San Gennaro Festival. Yo, I got extra tickets to When We Were Young. Hey, do you want to come to Rise Festival with me? We're all going to go to this brand new restaurant that just opened up. There's a charity event for breast cancer awareness. There's a charity event for animal rescue. Would you like to come to one of these events with us? You're going to find that the likelihood of her coming to those events is far greater than you going after some girl that you don't know and asking her on a date. Now, some girls will say yes to you when you ask her on a date. If you're extremely good looking, you don't have to listen to anything I'm saying. You can skip this whole part. If you won an Academy Award, if you won an NBA championship, if you're a multi-billionaire, or if you're a male fitness model, you're a streamer with tens of millions of followers, don't listen to anything I'm saying. But for the rest of you, the other 99%, the normal people who aren't special, just like me, for those of you, you should probably listen to what I'm saying. Asking a woman to go on a date, once again, just like showing intent, just remember this term. You cannot give value unless you have value. In her eyes, she doesn't see any value in you. For you to ask her on a date is an act of desperation. There is a type of woman who will say yes to going on a date with you when you've built absolutely no attraction. This is going to be a sex worker, a prostitute, or some girl who's trying to get you to go down her OnlyFans funnel. It's going to be a girl who's going to rob you, drug you, or something like that. Try to scam you out of money or maybe threaten you. You guys may have seen those recent articles about Mia Ventura, a model who would go on some of these dating websites and go meet men, talk to them for a while, and then come back to their house and burglar them. That's what you can expect from women who are going to go on a date with you when you send them a message and they're not immediately attracted to you. You're probably going to get robbed, or you're probably going to get propositioned to pay for sex. The third mistake you guys are making is that you're messaging women from social media accounts that have zero social proof. Step number one in the Men of Action program: fix your fucking Instagram. There's nothing in the world that's more scalable and shows more status with lower perceived effort than you fixing your social media, and in this case, specifically Instagram. Instagram is the #1 dating app in the world. It's not Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, it's not Raya, it's Instagram. The number of women, the percentage of women under the age of 35 that are on Instagram far exceeds any other app. And if you guys are saying, well, a bunch of these young girls are getting on TikTok, go ahead and start asking girls on dates on TikTok and tell me how that works for you. When it comes to creating social environments, Instagram is still the leader in the clubhouse until otherwise notified. Nobody's knocked Instagram off the perch. So if that's the case, your Instagram needs to show those 9 attraction triggers that I mentioned before. And those attraction triggers do not include height, looks, or money. Remember what those attraction triggers were? Relevancy, competency, access to scarce resources, locations, and networks. Humor, pre-selection, social proof, and charisma. These were the 9 attraction triggers, the things that you can work on even if you're not traditionally good looking. Even if you're short, brown, or from a small town, you can still use these evolutionary attraction triggers in order to generate attraction in a woman who typically wouldn't be attracted to you. And you can do that through your social media. In order to fix your Instagram, you would need candid photos, you need lifestyle photos, and you need pre-selection photos, all of things that we teach in the Men of Action program. If you fix your Instagram when you message girls, then you don't need any effort whatsoever. I send the shortest messages possible, and I get responses from thousands of girls to go to my events. Why can I do that? Because I show all those attraction triggers and those high status triggers on my social media, and I can teach you how to do that very easily without being wealthy or without being famous. For those of you who want to stop right here and not watch the rest of the video, just go ahead and click the link below. You've already heard enough. You've already made enough of these mistakes. You want the solutions. Go ahead and skip to the end. The link is down there in the description. Mistake number 4. You're actually texting the girl instead of using social media. Now, you can do both, but there's a massive advantage to using IGDM. Not the least of which is when you have an open thread between you and a girl, this magical thing happens. What happens is her explore page all of a sudden shows images of you. When she scrolls up, she starts seeing videos of you. If you don't believe what I'm saying, find someone that you aren't currently following on social media. Then start following them and then write them a message, write back and forward, and then step back and watch your social media and watch how that person you just messaged, all of a sudden their images show up on your IG. It's magical. So if you can get thousands of open threads, then all of a sudden you become top of mind to this woman you're talking about. Consider this. You're sitting there begging for a date. You're sitting there showing her intent, which shows that your value is low. Whereas in contrast, what I'm doing is getting an open thread with her, and now she's looking at my social media. I'm top of mind. It's basically like running a billboard or an advertisement that's on repeat that she sees of me over and over again. Which technique do you think builds more attraction? I hope by this point you would at least know what the truth is. Instead, you guys are just giving her your 10-digit phone number. You're texting her. She's texting you back. Maybe you even get lucky and you save your name in her phone. She still probably isn't going to remember what you look like. But if I message her on Instagram, she's going to immediately see my avatar and she's going to see my top 3 photos. And if she goes to my Reels page, she's going to see the top 3 photos there. I might even have a link to other forms of social media, maybe my Twitter, my YouTube, my Snapchat, whatever, in the bio. So she can check me out. She can invest time in learning more about me. For some of you who don't understand how attraction triggers work, look up the Benjamin Franklin effect, or you can look up the Florence Nightingale effect. And these effects basically work this way. The more I invest in you, the more I convince myself I'm I'm attracted to you, or the more I convince myself that you're high status. This is the reason why whenever I go to someone's house and they want to offer me water, I always say yes. When they want to take my coat, I always say yes. The more that person invests in me, the more they retcon that they like me. The more that they invest in me, the more they convince themselves that I'm high status. And so in order to do that, I give them a breadcrumbs. I give them a trail of things to follow. How do I do that? On my social media, with my avatar, with my photos on my grid, with my reels, with my stories, and with my highlights, I give them breadcrumbs to follow so that they can learn more about me. And as they do so, they become more invested and more attracted. Whereas what you're doing is sending these text messages, this faceless number that's on her phone. You have no value. And once again, you're probably showing intent. You're probably trying to get her on to go on a date, or you're hitting her up in the middle of the night. Where are you? What are you doing? When you have absolutely no value. Any woman who you just met, who you text where you at and comes to hang out with you, to have sex with you, probably has a 6, 7, or 800 body count, or you're dealing with a sex worker. There's no way that's going to work with any woman of substance, value, or any high level of attractiveness. So once again, stop text messaging these girls and instead message them on IG. Now, once you're on IG, if you want to get their text message information, that's fine to do so too, but IG primary and then text messaging secondary. Mistake number 5, texting to get anything other than logistics. Guys, stop the video right now. If you have a buddy of yours, maybe a brother, a cousin, just some guy you went to high school or college with who just crushes it with women, ask them about this one. When you text a woman, the only thing you need to be texting her about is trying to set up logistics so that you guys can meet up for some other event. For me, I try to get them to come to events or to go on dates or whatever, but it needs to only be logistics. Don't try to use text game. Text game is a myth. Text game is created by guys who are terrible with women when they meet them, and they're looking for some kind of way to fix the problem. So basically, when you met her, she thought you were a 2 and she's like a 10, and you're like, Michael, can you teach me some techniques by texting weird, funny sentences so that I can raise my value via text? That doesn't exist. You can ask any woman. It's ridiculous, the idea of doing it. Your value is established by how she sees you in person and how she sees you on your Instagram. Your words on text are never going to fix this problem. And so when you text her, the only thing you need to do is keep it short and simple. So here, I'm going to give you an example. If you were Leonardo DiCaprio and you were talking to a girl, do you think Leonardo DiCaprio flirts with girls a whole bunch, or do you think he says, meet us in Malibu at 10 p.m.? I promise you, his messages are probably even shorter than that because he has so much value. How do you show value? You show value through Instagram. He has so much value, he has to write shorter messages, put very little effort into it. So he's only going to send messages that are for logistics. For me, I'm the same way. I'm only going to send messages that are going to say, hey, we're meeting at this time for this contest. We're meeting at this time for this comp dinner. We're meeting at this time to go to this charity event. We're meeting at this time to go to this red carpet. We're meeting at this time to go to this movie premiere. We're meeting at this time to go to this axe throwing event. We're meeting at this time to go to this escape room. We're meeting at this time to go to this breast cancer awareness event. Whatever it is, I'm just setting up logistics. I have found this to be magnificently important for you to be able to do this. For some of you guys, you don't grasp what I'm saying and you still think that you're going to use text game in order to get a girl. Trying to text a girl to generate attraction is not going to work with any woman who's very attractive. It's one of these things where if you come off as creepy and weird when she meets you in person, there's no way texting is going to bridge that gap and make her attracted to you. Guys, once again, let me explain this to you. Sending women text messages to generate attraction when she already met you doesn't work. It is a matter of fiction, and anyone who tries to sell you a product trying to generate attraction over text is living in a fairy tale. Just a bonus note, for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know one of my biggest pet peeves is guys sending overly lascivious messages or sexual messages to women. Stop snitching on yourself. You guys who show massive levels of intent, or you send dick pics or whatever, or you're like, hey, want to go on a date? Want to go on a date? And you send message after message after message. Women are screenshotting those messages and they are sending them in group chats and laughing at you. So other women know how low value and low status you are. Stop sending lascivious messages. You are just telling on yourself. And if a girl doesn't respond to you, don't send messages about how angry you are or how you need to hold her accountable. Stop letting these women bother you when they don't respond to you. The reason why they're not responding to you is not because these women are stuck up. They're not responding to you because you look like a weirdo on social media. Fix that first before you guys worry about this. Again, guys, stop sending doing the dirty, nasty messages, I want to do this to you, or go on this, or have sex with you in this way, or sending lascivious pictures, or send me a picture of nudes, or you send me whatever. Stop doing that. It's incredibly low status and it's uncalibrated, and it's always going to come back to bite you. The sixth mistake that guys make is that they qualify themselves too much. They go back and forth with a girl and then they start thinking, I need to let her know how rich I am or how important I am. I need to explain to her how important my job is, or that I come from a good family. I need to send her a photo of me with my shirt off. You're doing all these things when she isn't asking for it. Again, I'm going to tell you guys, there's nothing more magical than when a woman discovers you have value rather than you telling her you have value. I'll give you an example. Let's just say you guys have a supercar, like a Lamborghini. What do you think is more effective? You dangling the Lamborghini keys in her face when you're in the nightclub, come on out with me, I'm rich? Or you going out to the valet and being like, well, you know, I'm homeless, I'm going to go stay in my cardboard box now. And then a Lamborghini pulls up and you get inside. Which do you think has more of an attraction effect? Which do you think generates more attraction? Those of you who thought that it was A, you are uncalibrated and possibly autistic. Those of you who realize that the answer is B, you're on your first step to understanding how attraction triggers work. Women need to discover that you're a doctor. They need to discover that you're successful. They need to discover that you're a good speaker, but you don't need to tell them overtly, because that's what low status people do. Famous people don't have to tell you they're famous. That's when you see like D-list celebrities going up to nightclubs and they're like, do you know who I am? I'm on Real Housewives of St. Louis or whatever. They have to tell you that they're famous. Actual famous people never have to tell you that they're famous. So it's the same kind of situation here. You need to not qualify yourself. When girls ask me what I do for a living, my answer is always the same thing. I was like, I host this really horribly offensive podcast that you definitely should not listen to. That's always my answer. Or I say, yeah, I'm actually a cat dilf, meaning I just rescue cats. That's always what I say. I don't say, I have over 500,000 social media followers and I get 5 million impressions. I don't say that stupid shit. I don't say anything like that. I'm a retired military officer and I do nothing. I don't say any of that. I say, hey, listen, don't listen to my podcast. It's not safe for work. Your family's going to hate you. I have a podcast. Don't listen to it. Whatever you do. I completely disqualify myself. I do not qualify myself in any way whatsoever when I first talk to a woman. And then when she discovers that maybe some of her favorite people have been guests on my podcast, when she discovers that some of my podcasts or some of my clips or reels have gone viral, when she discovers that some of the topics I talk about are interesting to her, the attraction is so much thicker and it has so much more gravity and power to it because she discovered it rather than me hitting over the head with it. If you dangle those keys in front of the girl and she comes home with you one more time, for the third time, you got yourself a prostitute. Congratulations. The seventh mistake that you guys make, everyone should write this down. It'll really help you. Think of L and L. Low status people write long messages. One more time. Low status people write long messages. And here's what I want you to consider. Have any of you who are watching this right now gotten a message in your request folder or your hidden request folder from someplace in the Philippines or someplace in Indonesia where the people are offering to give you 50,000 IG followers for $500 or what? You guys have seen them. Whenever you see those messages that are clearly just some kind of scam, are they short messages or are they really long? They're really long because these people are trying to scam you because they have no value. So they cannot give any value. So they try to make up for the fact that they have no value, these scammers, by writing these long messages that are like 10 paragraphs long, talking about your engagement is critically low. You need to fix it. You notice how those are long messages. That's because these are low status people. So again, let me say, spam looks this way. Low status people write long messages. So now I'm going to get into the solutions after we discuss the 7 mistakes you're having. And the first solution is that high status people write short messages. One more time. Think about a famous person messaging some girl. Machine Gun Kelly messages some girl. He's going to be like, what's up? He's going to write SUP. Sup. That's all he's going to say. Or I don't know if you've seen some of these guys that are like huge celebrities. They'll just leave one emoji on a girl's comments and then she just writes him back. That's all she does. Andrew Tate used to do this thing where he had like the little writing thing, the podcasting microphone, and just be like, do you want to do a podcast? That's all he did. High status people write short messages. Sometimes it's just one character. So one more time, low status people write long messages. High status people write short messages. So keeping your message as short as possible is an incredible way to show that your time is valuable, which means you're higher status and possibly your SMV is higher than hers, and therefore hypergamy is satisfied. Now, while I said high status people write short messages, the next lesson I want you to learn, and you need to write this down as well, is more evidence, fewer words. Say that with me. More evidence, fewer words. Michael, I want to write people invites to come to my party. More evidence, fewer words. Hey, Michael, I want to ask this girl to come to the escape room with me and a group of my friends. More evidence, fewer words. What does that mean? So for me, whenever for instance, I hosted a costume competition at Marquee, I'm going to tag Marquee in the costume competition. I'm going to show the flyer, and then I might show a picture of me with a bunch of girls in a previous competition smiling and having fun and showing that they were enjoying the environment. Now, for some of you are like, Michael, I don't have any pictures like that. That's totally fine. We teach you how to get those pictures in the Men of Action program systematically, mathematically. We teach you how to get those photos. But what you can do is show photos from previous events. Maybe you're not in it. So I had a friend of mine who was throwing a Playboy themed party and showed pictures of Hugh Hefner with Playboy models. And he used that in the invite because why? He kept the invite short. It was more evidence, pictures of girls having fun, fewer words, a short invite. We're throwing this party at this time. Would you like to come? That's all they get. Now, once they say yes, then you can give them more information. You can qualify yourself because they responded. They're investing in you. Now you can qualify back to them and give them the information. So more evidence, fewer words. This is really, really important. One of the things we do in Men of Action is guys will show me their invites, and we play this game to try to see how many words we can take out of their invites and make them as short as possible, while showing as many different data points that prove that we are who we say we are. So for my birthday every year, I get hit in the face with a cake. You guys have probably seen this. So we made a compilation of all the times I've been hit in the face with a cake. And then you can see there's just all these girls around me. They're all in different outfits. Like one year they were all dressed orange. One year they were all dressed like a cat. One year they were all dressed like cheerleaders. One year they all came in like lingerie. You can see the theme of what the girls were doing. And then I'm getting smashed in the face with a cake. And the girls are all like, okay, this is evidence. This is not just some weirdo asking for Bob's and Vagine. He's showing me evidence. And then the actual number of digits, the text, is very, very, very short. So it's more evidence, fewer words. This is incredible solution. If this was the only thing you guys took from this video, I promise you, you're going to do magnificent as far as invites are concerned. And if you absolutely need to ask a girl on a date because she's shown some level of attraction towards you, then this is actually another way to do it as well. So the next solution is one of my favorite ones, and I get people argue with me about this all the time and tell me that I'm wrong. I create group chats where we have memes, and I bring girls into the meme chats and they laugh their ass off. Some of the most vile, disgusting memes I have ever seen in my entire life come from my best friend, Kindly Myers, who is a Playboy model. Some of the most messed up memes I've ever seen come from the most beautiful women I have ever seen in my entire life. If you guys know what I'm talking about, some of the most racist, politically incorrect, horribly disgusting memes I've ever seen come from beautiful, beautiful women. So one of the things I do often when I do go back and forth with a girl is I might say something to the effect of like, do you like memes? And they'll be like, of course. And I'll say, send me your best memes. And they'll send me funny memes, and then I'll put them in the meme chat, and then we'll go back and forth sending memes. I would only do this when logistics aren't possible. So please understand. First, you want to set up logistics. So meaning like if you can meet the girl face to face, that's what's most important. But let's just say you live in Las Vegas, you met the girl on a weekend in Dallas, and she goes back to Dallas. In the interim, I would maybe every once in a while, occasionally, maybe once a week, send her a really funny meme or post memes in your stories that she can react to. Memes are a great way. I have several friends and several girls that I've ended up dating where all we would do is send each other memes or send each other emojis, and I would never send any text to them because I don't have time to do that. I'm just going to send you a meme. It's a little fadeaway meme. It made you laugh, and then I'm going to go about my day. I'm not going to convince you to like me. Again, high status people write short messages, more evidence, fewer words. Do not qualify yourself. Just send a funny meme. The other thing that's so great about memes is that they actually have the value embedded in them. So if I invite a girl to a Maxim party and I'm like, hey, do you want to walk the red carpet? There's value in that because she can get photos and put it up on her social media. If I send her a meme that makes her laugh hysterically, the value is in the meme. So I'm sending her value, which makes her more comfortable. The other thing I'll tell you, this is a completely different subject, but posting really funny memes on your story and like checking who watches your story on a regular basis and seeing that beautiful women are watching your story on a regular basis, it really primes the pump for you to get those girls to come out and meet you in real life in person. So that's the other thing I want to tell tell you is that memes are incredible. I've heard dating coaches say that memes are incredibly stupid. Don't ever do it. These guys are not good with women. I'm sorry. If you want, I'm talking about tens. Guys, if you know that what I'm saying is true, if you've ever dealt with this before, you know some of the most misogynistic, racist memes you've ever seen in your life come from the hottest women you've ever seen. If you've experienced this, write this in the comments. You know what I'm saying is true. It's one of the wildest things I've ever seen, and it's absolutely true. So sending memes, an absolute cheat code. So just to all encompass all the solutions I gave you, basically the way you do messaging is you let your status speak for you. You show that you're a person that has value, a person who takes action, a man who is a leader who can communicate, who shows relevancy, competency, access to scarce resources, locations, networks, pre-selection, social proof, charisma, and humor. As I've shown previously, those evolutionary attraction triggers are able to generate attraction with women who don't already find you physically attractive. For those of you who don't understand, pickup and dating apps and mode one and going direct is for women who already find you attractive. Men of action and social circle is for women who don't find you attractive yet. We generate attraction using evolutionary attraction triggers that do not include height, looks, or money in order for women to find you attractive. And how do we do that? We take them from an unfamiliar environment, again, where Chad and Tyrone win, and we bring them to a familiar environment with a guy who's funnier, who has better social alignments, and can show more pre-selection, where he's going to win. How do we do so? We do so through messaging girls in order to build events or invite girls to groups of events so that we can get to know them better, instead of trying to use text messaging in order to show intent, to try to get girls on dates who aren't attracted to us, to overqualify ourselves, or to write long messages showing that we're low status. We want to avoid those mistakes. If you've learned anything from this, please write it down in the comments. If you've had experience with what I'm saying, or if this is a realization, you realize, man, Michael, I'm writing way too many long messages. You're right. Play a game with yourself. Do this, okay? If this is the only thing you take from this video, just do this one thing. Play a game where you message a girl, and no matter what she writes back, you write the message back, and it's at least one character shorter than what she wrote you. And then she writes you something back, and then it's one character shorter. And then keep going shorter and shorter and shorter until you just write the word K, just the letter K. That's it. Play a game and see how short you can make your messages. Just do that one thing and then tell me that you don't actually see results. In addition to you fixing your social media, showing relevancy and competency, fixing your grid with photos, showing really cool reels, showing really, really awesome stories, maybe posting some funny memes, tell me if that doesn't immediately improve the reactions that you get from women. And notice when you do that improvement, how many more open threads you have, how much more responsive women are, how much more women take you out of the request folder and put you into the primary folder. If you've learned something from this video, if you like what you've seen so far, I just want to let you know over 4,000 men have gone through the Men of Action program. We have hundreds of video testimonials. If you guys want to go to moamentoring.com/testimonials, you can watch any of them. And again, none of those people were compensated. They came to us voluntarily and gave those video testimonials where they do Q&As and answer questions if you have any questions about this. When it comes to social circle, which I am the top instructor in the world at, you need to use social media. When you use social media, then your texting between a girl to create logistics becomes easier and easier. If you want more refined techniques on how to make this work, please click the link below and I'll see you soon.